Hello, all. Welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm your host, Alyx, and this is my WWE Top 10 Greatest Wrestlers of All Time. Now, I did a list like this back in 2018. A lot has happened since that time. Within the last 7 years, Vince McMahon stepped down from creative, Triple H took over, a pandemic happened, AEW became a thing. So let's just say some people moved up the list, others moved down. As the business changes, as the world changes, you adapt and you grow with it. And so I would like to redo that list here for 2025, and then maybe in another 5 or 10 years, most likely 10 years, we will revisit this list and we will see who truly is top 10. And this should change after each generation. If it doesn't, probably not a good sign for the business. That's probably a bad sign for me, as in my fandom really hasn't changed and I'm actually losing interest. So this is good. The fact that my list is growing and changing is a good sign that I'm still a fan of the sport. I still love this wrestling thing. I've been loving it since I was 8 years old. Started watching in 1998, still going strong, and you guys watch me because of it. So let's go ahead and redo this list. Same criteria as the last one. You can't just be a good in-ring performer. That's part of it. You have to have excellent in-ring ability, but you also have to be able to tell a story. Psychology. You have to be able to execute the moves. The athleticism. You have to have personality. You have to have charisma. And then everything that you do has to be memorable. Memorable feuds, memorable moments. On top of the accolades, the championships, the Royal Rumble wins, King of the Ring, etc. But most importantly, above all, you have to have a lasting impact, a legacy. What impact did you have on wrestling? That's what I look at when I make my top 10 list. So let's go ahead and get to it. But first, let's take a look at some honorable mentions who didn't quite make the list.
Honorable mentions.
What makes wrestling special to me is the ability to watch one show and everybody gets something out of it. It's a variety show. It appeals to the masses. I see the top 10 lists the exact same way when it comes to wrestlers. Not everybody is going to have the same list. Everyone has their own preferences. We all grew up in different eras. We all have different experiences. And I think that is going to affect your top 10. We're not going to see the same people on each of our lists. And the following names are people, if they're on your list, I would not blame you. They deserve to be on there. They just could not make this list. Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat, Lie, Cheat, and Steal, master storyteller, beloved for his charisma. This man was someone I instantly gravitated towards when I first saw him in WCW, and I have been a fan ever since. We lost him too soon. I really wish he would have stuck around. If he did not pass away in 2005, I have a feeling the wrestling business would be very, very different. Rey Mysterio, people call him the ultimate underdog. I call him the greatest luchador ever. Ever. That's just my personal opinion. Loved every single one of his cruiserweight matches in WCW. The fact that he's still going today goes to show you how much impact he's had on the business. He is someone that deserves to be in your top 10. The icon Sting. We all think about that Crow character from WCW, how he reinvented that character and made it his own. Definitely one of the pioneers of that entire company. WCW, I don't think would even be here if it wasn't for the icon Sting. So if you want to put him in your top 10, go for it. CM Punk, the best in the world. 434 days. The Pipe Bomb. Voice of the Voiceless. The fact that he can call himself the best in the world and we don't blink at it, we don't question it, that just kind of shows you how great he is. Now, we still got time for CM Punk to end up on my top 10 list. He might already be in your top 10. He is definitely worthy of being on anybody's top 10 list. AJ Styles, a man that has won every world title and every major promotion except AEW. There's still time for that to change, but he is one of the greatest in-ring performers I have ever seen in my lifetime. There's a reason why they call him the phenomenal one, because when he's inside the ring, hardly anyone's better. Speaking of one of the best in-ring performers, Bryan Danielson, the Yes Movement, WrestleMania 30, the Miracle on Bourbon Street. This is somebody that was told he would never make it, and he ended up becoming one of the all-time greats. What Chris Benoit was supposed to be, Bryan Danielson became that and even more. The rated R superstar, Edge, 11-time world champion, has won every single title possible, has accomplished every single feat you can accomplish in WWE, from main event WrestleMania to winning Royal Rumbles, revolutionizing the TLC match. The fact that this man was told he would never wrestle again when he had that neck injury in 2011, and still managed to come back 9 years later and perform on that exact same level, is a testament to what an all-time great he is. The Viper, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, 14-time world champion, master of the RKO, one of the smoothest performers inside that ring, even at his age, even in his 40s. And some of you are probably upset he's not in my top 10. We still got time, ladies and gentlemen. He's still wrestling. Kurt Angle, the wrestling machine, your Olympic hero, won the medals with a broken freaking neck. Oh my goodness. Grand Slam champion. Incredibly versatile. The 3 eyes. He can make you cry. He can make you laugh. All of those things make up for a top 10 wrestler. Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, hardcore legend. I don't think most of the people that's in my top 10 would be where they are if Mick Foley did not exist. Mick Foley made legends because he himself is a legend. Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, a man that is a master at reinventing himself. Whatever company he's in, he just fits in like it's a glove, and he elevates everybody that he works with. A man whose name spans generations, and someone that I believe deserves to be in anyone's top 10. So you have to think, man, if any of those names didn't make it, then who is in your top 10? Well, let's get into it with number 10.
Number 10.
On your knees, dog. Bow down to the king.
Triple H.
Personal story about Triple H. Growing up, I hated this man. Not as Paul Levesque, the man behind the character. I hated the character because he was so damn good. It wasn't like a Vince McMahon who could talk a big game, could make you hate him, but he couldn't wrestle inside the ring. This is different. He backed it up inside the ring as well. That's just even worse to me. So I got off on seeing him get his ass kicked on a daily basis, and I loathe seeing him win. And he won a lot. He called himself the Game for a reason. He is the personification of a heel. Someone that did horrible things, that stepped on a lot of people to get to the top, and he was so good at doing it. He would tell people, I am going to step on you because I want to be the best. So whether you like him or not, you can say he didn't earn it. He married into the family, remember? He married Stephanie McMahon. If he did not do that, he would not be here. I disagree. I truly believe Triple H would still be here even if he didn't marry Stephanie McMahon. Trained by Killer Kowalski. He is as old school can get, paid his dues, got all of his stripes. Looking at his world title reigns alone, 14-time world champion, Grand Slam champion, has won all the titles you could possibly have him win, has done everything you could possibly do. Win the Rumble, main event WrestleMania, founder of DX, Evolution, that sledgehammer, man, when he pulls out that sledgehammer, you know what time it is. But the one thing that really solidified him, when he got hurt in 2001 and then he went away, I missed him. And that was proven when he made that return in 2002. I remember how happy I was to see him, as most of you were. That legendary return, Madison Square Garden, 2002, before WrestleMania, was one of the greatest returns I've ever seen. One of the greatest crowd reactions for any wrestler. And the fact that they received him the way that they did was all the confirmation that he needed to know. Yeah, everything that I've done means something. And he would go on to win more championships, have many great feuds with literally everybody you can think of. Austin, Rock, Cena, Batista, Orton, Shawn Michaels. We'd be here all day. Undertaker. He has fought the best. He has beaten the best. And when it's all said and done, what he's going to be known for isn't just what he did as a character, but also what he's doing behind the scenes. As the head writer of not just NXT Black and Gold, a great run, by the way, but now the lead creative mind for this generation's WWE. He is now helping to lead the pack. He is now molding the future. He is taking a blank canvas and creating new legends, new faces, a whole new generation of stars, of Hall of Famers. And the fact that he is doing that gives me comfort that WWE is going to be something big for generations to come. He deserves to be on anyone's top 10 list. Argue with your moms if you disagree. So, that's number 10. Let's get to number 9.
Number 9. Bret, the Hitman Hart.
Full transparency, I got into wrestling after Bret Hart's run in WWF. This was after the Montreal Screwjob, where he left the company and went to WCW, where he was a shell of his former self. He won the world title from Chris Benoit, then got that concussion from Goldberg, and that was it. So I was robbed of Bret Hart in his prime. So I had to go back in my older age and check out all of the things that made Bret Hart a legend. And yeah, the excellence of execution. When he calls himself the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, that's not a slogan. He is definitely the best in-ring technician you will ever see inside the ring. His ability to tell a story is impeccable. The original 5-star classic wrestler, Bret Hart, was that dude. He was that dude that would create a 5-star match with literally anybody. I still remember, to this day, one of my favorite matches is with Kid, 1-2-3 Kid. And yes, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13. Look, I'd be here all day. And he wasn't doing anything all that crazy. He wasn't doing 630s or 450s. He was able to make you care with the basics of moves. The basics. On top of being a 5-time world champion, member of the Hart Foundation. My goodness, his feuds with Austin, Shawn Michaels, his own brother, Owen Hart. Rest in peace to Owen Hart. Gotta do that. We gotta give love to Owen Hart. Canada's favorite wrestler. A national hero. One of the greatest runs was that heel run. The run before we went into the Attitude Era, let's just be real. 1997 is the unofficial start of the Attitude Era. Because a lot of the things they did during that year was incredible. Some of it might even be better than a lot of the things we got during the Attitude Era. But one of the things that I absolutely loved was his heel run. The world title run where he was a heel in America, but every time he went to Canada, he was treated like a god. That is one of the most legendary runs any world champion has ever had. And I think Bret Hart deserves a lot more credit for carrying WWE during one of their lowest periods. In my opinion, what they call it, the New Generation run, that might have been the worst years ever for WWE because they were genuinely about to go out of business. He carried them during their darkest times, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. This is a man whose career was taken away from him. You wonder why he's bitter. He's bitter because deep down, we all know this. He is the best in-ring professional wrestler we know. He's all about the art. He's all about the blood, sweat, and tears given to the sport. Because that's his love. That's his one true love. That is what his family, everyone that came from that Hart dungeon, represents. If you don't have Bret Hart in your top 10, I don't think your list is qualified. I instantly disqualify your list. He is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He has inspired generations of professional wrestlers to start wrestling. We wouldn't have a Bryan Danielson if Bret Hart didn't exist. We wouldn't have an Edge. We wouldn't have a lot of your favorites today if it wasn't for Bret Hart and what he did. So he is number 9 on my list. Arguably could be higher. But again, I have him here because I did not get to experience him in his prime. If I did, he would probably be in my top 5. Just saying. Regardless, he's number 9 on my list. Let's get to number 8.
Number 8. Roman Reigns.
It's incredible to me how I can go from absolutely despising Roman Reigns and his dumbass Shield gear. I remember him winning that Rumble in 2015, arguably the worst Rumble ever. And I said to myself, it's over for him. There is no coming back from this horribly booked Rumble. It took him 5 years to crawl out of that slump. Coming in as a member of the Shield, we all knew he was going to be a pet project for Vince McMahon and WWE. We wanted Dean Ambrose. We all thought Seth Rollins wouldn't be anything. We were wrong there. He might also end up in someone's top 10. But we all knew Roman Reigns was going to be their guy. And those 5 years were rough. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, he told Vince McMahon, either you turn me heel, either you let me be me, or I go home. And that was the best thing. That was the right thing for him to do. Because he came back as the tribal chief with Paul Heyman, and then he had literally one of the greatest runs any wrestler has ever seen. 1,316 days as the Universal World Champion. That is unheard of, hasn't been heard of for decades. The last person to do that, the last person to hold a belt for over 1,000 days was Hulk Hogan. Stuff like this doesn't happen often anymore. And during that run, he elevated literally everyone he worked with. All the legends he wrestled. Every single person from Sami Zayn to Jey Uso, currently your world champ, yeet, especially Cody Rhodes. Do you honestly believe Cody Rhodes would be where he is today if he did not beat Roman Reigns? Part of the reason why Cody can say he's the head dog, he's the quarterback of WWE, was because he conquered this beast. And what makes it work, what makes Roman Reigns work as the tribal chief, is based off of those 5 years where he knew he was good. He knew he deserved everything that the WWE was giving him. We all knew he was a great performer, but we wouldn't acknowledge him. He wanted the world. He wanted the locker room. He wanted everybody to acknowledge him. And he made it undeniable. When you're a 6-time world champ, when you've main evented WrestleMania more than any wrestler, he broke Hulk Hogan's record. I think it's 10 now, right? 10 WrestleMania main events. Might get another one. Still has to fight The Rock at WrestleMania. Might end up being 11 or 12 by the time he retires. Grand Slam champ, has won every single title he can win, won the Rumble. When you're able to say you have elevated multiple people, everyone you work with becomes relevant. The island of relevancy is not just a catchphrase. You are one of the all-time greats. And what's crazy is, if you were to ask me, probably even 5 years ago, do I think Roman Reigns is an all-time great? I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you in your face. The day I realized that Roman Reigns was in my top 10 was actually sometime last year. I forgot who said it. I think it was John Cena. I think it was John Cena who came out and said, Roman Reigns is the GOAT. If you know someone sucks and they call you the greatest of all time, it should make you sick to your stomach. When John Cena said that Roman Reigns was the GOAT, I went, yeah. He can be argued to be the GOAT. And I would buy it. Imagine where we would be with him if he never went to Vince McMahon and told him, you either let me be a heel or I go home. He was ready to retire. He was ready to quit. He forced Vince's hands to give him what he wanted. And I'm glad he did. Because now we can say that he's an all-time great, one of the greatest of all time. In some cases, he could be argued to be the greatest when it's all said and done. He's still performing. And I'm happy to say that even I acknowledge him as an all-time great. So that's number 8. Let's get to number 7.
Number 7. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Come on now. There is no way I can have a top 10. Anybody can have a top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time list and not include the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. I don't care how you feel about him personally. When it comes to what he does on screen inside that ring, he is one of the all-time greats. There's a reason why they call him the man. What does he say? To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo! The kid stealing, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. Officially 16-time world champ, but let's be real, he's won a lot more belts than that. I think it's like 21 total, right? 20 plus, if anything. 2-time Hall of Famer, and of course, the Four Horsemen, legendary group. Loved his in-ring style. I don't care what anybody says. They say his in-ring performances are repetitive. I don't give a damn. Every time he does that flare flop after taking a punch or two, or he does the turnbuckle spot, a man who is known for wrestling in multiple companies, winning world titles, building a legacy. When you think about professional wrestling, there's no way you can't think about Ric Flair, a global phenomenon. One of the few wrestlers to transcend into mainstream. This man deserves all the love that he has gotten, and the fact that he's still alive after everything he's put his body through is a blessing. Ric Flair, to me, means more than just a character. He's a symbol. He is a symbol of what these wrestlers strive to be. 300 plus days a year, living the character, blood, sweat, tears. All of that comes from Ric Flair. He is the perfect representation of what a wrestler should be. Heel, babyface, you name it. None of us would be here if Ric Flair didn't exist. All these wrestlers that you know, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Austin, they were inspired to wrestle because of Ric Flair. He is their GOAT. If you ask them who you think the greatest of all time is, 9 times out of 10, they'll say Ric Flair. That is how impactful, that is how important he is to the sport of professional wrestling. He is wrestling. The good, the bad, the ugly. Because it is kind of sad to see him where he is. That all he can be is Ric Flair. We don't know the man behind the character. He never got to live it. All he knows is Ric Flair. Sometimes you can love it too much. And it's a blessing that a man like that was able to come into our lives and entertain us for all those years, decades of a long-lasting legacy. And for me, he will always be considered one of the greatest of all time. But he's only number 7 on my list. Some of you might find that sacrilege because more than likely he's in your top 5, if not number 1. But he's only number 7, and you'll understand why when we get to number 6.
Number 6. John Cena.
I have a long love-hate relationship with John Cena. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I always was a fan of this guy. Initially I was. As the doctor of thugonomics, I even liked ruthless aggression John Cena. But from 2008 till about recently, not the biggest fan. And for years, people have called him the GOAT, and it made me sick to my stomach. He wasn't on this list in 2018. I did not think he was anywhere close to being the GOAT. I laughed at that, and I'm not taking anything away from him. This man is a generational superstar. When we talk about the faces of WWE, a man that you could see being a face of a company, he's one of the best to do it, outside and inside the ring. That doesn't mean that I had to buy him as an all-time great. Compared to all the others that I think personified wrestling better than John Cena did, he came nowhere close to it. He came nowhere close to it. But then something changed recently, and it wasn't any of his championship runs. He is a 17-time world champ. He's officially the guy that broke the record, the most wins out of anybody recognized by WWE. Grand Slam champ, has won all the titles except for the IC title, which he might win before he goes away. Wasn't the Make-A-Wishes. 650 and counting Make-A-Wishes. It wasn't his crossover into Hollywood. Honestly, it was this last run. This retirement tour. This man decided that he was going to end his career being a heel. Because when you look back through all of those 15 years on top, because he was on top for a long time. People might argue he was on top longer than any other wrestler ever. It's hard to be on top for a few years. He was on top for 15 years straight. A top babyface for 15 years. That can be argued because he was really a heel for a good portion of it. But he was their guy for 15 years. That's a long time. Not a lot of people can say that. But for a good portion of that 15 years, he was hated. The crowd booed him. And yes, he deserved it in some instances. But also, there were a lot of times he didn't. So what he decided to do, instead of riding off into the sunset, well, he could have done that. He could have gone straight to Hollywood and just been the guy that just shows up and loses to put people over. And still been called the greatest of all time. No, he wanted to go out the old school way. He decided, if these fans want to hate me, let me come back and give them a full year where they can have fun hating me. Let me end it my way, giving back to the business, giving the fans what they want, a heel run, but also putting other wrestlers over. He was a corporate figure for WWE. He knows it, we know it, and he's embracing it one last time to tell the ultimate story. A man whose time is almost up, and he's grasping on to whatever he has left. And it's creating one of the best runs that I've seen any professional wrestler have. And when it's all said and done, yeah, he is going down in history as one of the greatest of all time. And in some eyes, the GOAT. The greatest. I don't care what anyone says. This idea that John Cena can't wrestle, this man has shown you when he needs to, he can have a classic match with people like Edge, with people like CM Punk. His United States Championship Challenge run is some of his best work, in my personal opinion. He has shown us that he can get down when he needs to. But more than that, he's shown us what a true professional looks like. A man with a heart of gold. He just wants to entertain everybody. Whether it's as a heel or a babyface telling you to never give up. Look, it might just be me getting old, but I think I might have softened up on John Cena. And I'm willing now to accept him as an all-time great. And in some eyes, the GOAT. Another person that's crossed over into Hollywood. His "you can't see me" is universal. Everybody knows about it. When you think about wrestling, you can't not think about it and not bring up John Cena. He has become the perfect representation of WWE in every single possible way. And he will be remembered as such. And that is why he is number 6 on my list.
Number 5. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
You already know. The showstopper, the headliner, the main event, the icon, Mr. WrestleMania, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Bell to bell, arguably the best in-ring professional wrestler ever. In his prime, he was untouchable. I would argue even the best wrestlers today, the Kenny Omegas, the Bryan Danielsons, the Will Ospreays, they could not top Shawn Michaels in his prime. And Shawn wasn't doing anything crazy like a shooting star press or a 630 or 450. He didn't need to. He was doing moonsaults. He was doing springboards. But the things that he was doing was all about telling a story, putting on a masterful performance. He revolutionized the ladder match, the first man to enter at number 1 in the Royal Rumble and win the entire goddamn thing. He was Attitude before there was an Attitude Era. The things he was doing in 1997 almost got WWF kicked off the air. Now imagine how crazy you need to be to almost get WWF kicked off the air in the 90s. Yeah, it was that crazy. Go back and watch them. Some of you just thought about a couple of those moments, right? Yeah, this man pushed the envelope every single day. We would not be here if he didn't. DX became a household name because of Shawn Michaels. And because of what he did, he opened the door to a whole new way of wrestling. Now, that first run, legendary. First ever Grand Slam champ. But also, we had to remember something. Shawn Michaels was going through a lot. That man was not easy to work with. And the only reason they worked with him was because they knew he was the best. That second run, though, after he had that lower back injury, and he was put out for 4 years, that man came back, didn't lose a beat, didn't lose a goddamn step, was just as good, I would argue, even better. The legendary matches he had during that second run, two of my favorites, the one against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21, the second one is the match against The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. I was there live for that one, here in Houston, Texas. By the way, Shawn Michaels is from Texas, San Antonio. Look at that. Everything great comes from Texas. Anyways, many other matches. The matches with Chris Jericho, Triple H. I'd be here all day talking about all these classic matches that he's had. Shawn Michaels is a pioneer in the business. And I love that in his old age, he's choosing to give back. He is now the head writer, the man in charge of NXT, leading the new generation. And he's doing an excellent job. Shawn is everything you want in a professional wrestler. He loves the business. He bleeds wrestling. And that man, to me, deserves to be on anybody's top 10. He might be number 1 on your list. He's only number 5 on my list. But if I wanted to, I could easily make him number 1. Easily. And I think you all would accept it. So that makes you wonder, who the hell is better than Shawn Michaels on this list? Well, let's find out when we get to number 4.
Number 4. The Rock.
The day they gave Rocky Maivia a microphone, it was a wrap. He was able to build his entire identity off of just talking. I'm not saying he wasn't good inside the ring. He's one of the best inside the ring. Some of you don't want to admit that, but he was a great in-ring performer. It didn't matter though. His entire popularity was based off of what he said on the mic. One of the best, if not the best talker in professional wrestling history. The catchphrases, oh my goodness. Of course you got, if you smell, lay it the smack it down. Smackdown. He made up a word that got put in a dictionary and got his own show. Well, since Rod's baby left him and he found a new place to dwell, well, it's down at the end of Jabroni Drive at Jabroni. And then, of course, you got, finally, The Rock has come back. Know your role and shut your mouth. You will go 1-on-1 with the great one in front of the millions. It doesn't matter, man. Catchphrase after catchphrase after catchphrase. Millions tune in just to watch him. It won him Hollywood stardom, the highest paid actor in Hollywood today, because of his charisma, because of his ability to tell a story. 10-time WWE champion, a man that loves professional wrestling. As he's proving right now, he came back to help run the company as a member of the board. And he still continues to contribute. Whenever the camera is turned on and he's in front, the crowd reacts. The crowd's invested. He makes everything that he does awesome. Whether it's wrestling Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18 or wrestling Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. Whenever The Rock shows up, you know business has picked up and you instantly know you're about to be entertained. One of wrestling's best entertainers. And that's why he's number 4 on my list. Now hopefully, before he retires, we'll get that Rock versus Roman Reigns match. Because I'm still waiting on it. Although honestly, if he decided today to retire and never wrestle again, he would have done enough. He's done literally everything he could do. Heel, babyface, main event WrestleMania, win the Royal Rumble. He doesn't need to do any of this anymore. But he chooses to still contribute. And honestly, we're blessed to have him here. So there you go. Number 4 is The Rock. Let's see who number 3 is.
Number 3. The Undertaker.
My first introduction into The Undertaker happened in 1998. I remember turning on the television, seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin on some table or like a desk or something. I see Paul Bearer with some scissors, cut up his shirt, and then I see this big gothic figure with a knife or a stake, and he's literally about to jab it through his chest. Yeah, attempted murder on live television until Kane came to save him. That was the first time I saw Taker. I'm not lying. It wasn't Survivor Series 1990, which was great. It wasn't the American Badass. It was attempted murder, Lord of Darkness, Undertaker. What an introduction, right? Easily the best character to ever be created in professional wrestling history. Mark Calloway lived the Undertaker gimmick. Everywhere he went, he was the Undertaker. He never turned it off until recently. Very old school. Respected the business and is someone that has the utmost respect from everybody, outside, inside the business. And his accolades, come on now. The streak, WrestleMania streak. I don't like the fact that he lost to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but still, Brock Lesnar. I hate that the streak ended. 7-time world champion, Hall of Famer, of course. The Hell in a Cell match with Mankind, where he hurled Mankind off the Hell in a Cell. That, to me, was one of those moments that made me a wrestling fan. I think about that moment more than any other moment in wrestling history. I think about his feud with Kane. Them having the Inferno matches, some of the best stuff that you will ever see on television. You also had the American Badass, the reinvention with the motorcycles, and he did all that while working in WWE. He never left. WWE is literally the only wrestling company he's ever worked for. Never touched WCW, never touched ECW, never touched TNA, never will touch AEW. He was there in WWE during his darkest periods and his best periods. And he gave us some of the best moments, whether it's hanging people on a cross or running down people with a microphone, buried alive matches. And how many matches did he create? Jesus Christ. You had the Hell in a Cell match, you had the buried alive match, and then you had the casket match. All of those originated by The Undertaker. His character is so big, it's transcended the sport of professional wrestling. If you say The Undertaker, they know who you're talking about. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you know where it comes from. If you told me he's the greatest of all time, sure, absolutely. You're not going to hear me tell you no. I don't want Taker popping up in my room, sitting up with his eyes in the back of his head. He's earned every single ounce of respect that he's gotten. 3 decades of destruction. He is one of the greatest of all time. And in some cases, the greatest of all time. But he's only number 3. Let's find out who number 2 is.
Number 2. Hulk Hogan.
Before I get into Hulk Hogan, I want to reiterate how I feel about the character does not reflect on how I feel about the man behind the character. Terry Bollea has done some horrible things, from the slurs, putting people down, stepping on others to get to the top. He is overall a terrible human being. And until he owns all the things that he's done, he gets no sympathy from me. All the hate that he's getting is earned. That being said, Hulk Hogan is a cultural phenomenon, the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling. We would not be here if Hulkamania did not exist. That's the truth. The main reason why WWF WrestleMania became as big as it is was because of Hulk Hogan, who headlined WrestleMania 1 through 9? He is 1980s WWF, whether you like him or not. When he fought Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, he sold that baby out, the Silver Dome, 90,000 plus. The rematch with Hogan and Andre did 30 million plus viewers. Excuse me? On a Saturday night? 30 million plus. Unheard of. A man that's held the belt for, a long ass time. 4 years. One of the longest reigning champions of all time. 6-time WWE champion. 6-time WCW champion. Speaking of WCW, that heel turn, one of the greatest, if not the greatest heel turn of all time, where he betrayed the fans and joined the NWO. That is what brought WCW to prominence and helped WCW beat WWF for 83 weeks straight. Everything this man has done has helped wrestling become mainstream. And if he had never done that, I doubt any of us would be fans right now. If you've seen any of his Japan matches, you'll know that Hogan could actually wrestle, but he knew what fans wanted to see. No one cared about 5 stars with Hulk Hogan. You wanted to see him Hulk up and do the "you, brother," hit that leg drop, get the 1, 2, 3. People paid an arm and a leg to see Hulk Hogan live. It made him a millionaire. It made him a Hollywood sensation. One of the first wrestlers, if not the first wrestler, to transcend wrestling. He was up there with the best in the 80s. Matter of fact, he personified the 80s. That type of popularity he had, where he couldn't even leave his house without being sworn by fans, isn't seen anymore. Not in wrestling, at least. And despite my hate, my dislike for Terry Bollea the Man, I will always have a special place in my heart for Hulk Hogan. Because of him, I am a fan today. I doubt any of us would be here if he didn't exist. And that's why he's very high on my list. You could argue he's number 1, but he's only number 2. And I think you all know who the number 1 spot is. So let's get to him.
And the number 1 greatest wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Without question, the biggest superstar in terms of professional wrestling. When he was on top, the WWE saw its hottest period, the Attitude Era. Arenas, stadiums, wherever they went, they sold out because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because you knew, every time that glass shattered, hell was about to be raised. Everybody got stunned. Men, women, old, young, Santa Claus. Everybody got it. And you watched every single week. This man could do anything. He could punt a baby. And they tried really, really hard to make the fans hate him. Because he came in as a heel. He was too good, too charismatic. And then that match with Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13, put him on the map. It was a wrap since then. He became a household name, and everything he did after that was just legendary. His feud with Vince McMahon fed families. Those two created magic every single week. Because Vince McMahon, that hateable boss that everyone wanted to punch, Austin punched him every single week. And it brought about the biggest ratings ever in wrestling history. Weekly too. Consistently. Stone Cold Steve Austin was the best thing for WWE's business across the board. And his merchandise went global. Austin 316, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so. Give me a hell yeah. And then of course my personal favorite. What? I know, you're sick of it. I don't care. Because it represents his impact on the business. 6-time WWE champion, the only man to win the Royal Rumble 3 times. 2 of my favorite moments, and this is just 2, was the Zamboni incident, where he drove a Zamboni to the ring, beat up Vince McMahon, and got arrested. And then that legendary confrontation with Mike Tyson, that just shot him into the atmosphere. That was such a legendary moment. Even now, I go back and watch that, and I am in awe. This man, for the short time he was on top, captivated millions across the world. No one was better. Nobody on this list could match the charisma, the star power, the force that was Stone Cold Steve Austin during his prime. And I think even you would have a hard time arguing if anybody was better than Stone Cold Steve Austin at his peak when he was the hottest. I can't. And that is why he is number 1 on my list. And so there you have it. That is my top 10 greatest wrestlers of all time, at least right now here in 2025. On my last list, the people that were taken off were Randy Savage and Andre the Giant, 2 legends of the business, will forever be remembered. And I still think they deserve to be in anyone else's top 10. They just didn't make it for this time around. But that's just me. Remember, this is all subjective. If you disagree, please let me know down below and make your own list. Very curious to know what your list looks like and whether you agree with mine. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cashapp, and Venmo. I love you all. Thank you for making me a part of your day. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time, right here in Alyx's world. A place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Peace.
When you're